Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the FR-1x and its memory. We've talked about different files and difference between user sets, user programs, different things like that. But I actually want to delve into the memory and how it's put together. And there's a reason for doing that. Okay, one of my viewers asked me to explain, for example, the Alpine expansion kit. And what are the files, because, when you download it, like in the Alpine set, you actually get 3 different files. And what are those files and what can you do with them? And so I did the video on that. I haven't posted it yet. I'm actually not going to post it until this weekend because I want this video out first, because this is a warning. I put a warning in there, but this is like warning, danger, danger, Will Robinson. And I'm going to explain it, and hopefully this is going to clarify that and make it clear as to why this is so dangerous. Now, if you have your accordion and you've done things, it's no problem. Or if you just bought it from Roland and you want to install this stuff, there's no problem whatsoever. However, if you've purchased your 1X from, I actually don't mind plugging Dale Mathis because his sounds are so good, but I hate, you think I don't get any money from him from pushing his channel or his sound sets. Okay, I just happen to think they're very good. But if you had purchased it from him, first of all, he spent hours creating these sound set. He's done. I'm assuming, I don't know, because unfortunately I wasn't lucky enough to get my 1X from Dale, but I am assuming he has created 4 different user sets that he can actually pick his sounds from to create those 8 user programs for you. And if you go changing a user set, that's actually going to change the user programs. Okay. All right, here's pretty much how the memory is laid out. Okay, so you have the FR-1x main memory, and you should be seeing that over here. Okay, you have the FR-1x memory. On one side, you have its main memory. Its main memory is loaded at the factory. You cannot change those. Okay, those include the 12 different accordion styles that you have, whether it's folk or classic or studio. You can't change those. They're right there. You have those 12. They're good to go. Okay, so that's kind of like read-only memory. If you've ever heard of read-only memory, that's loaded into read-only memory. You can't change it. It's there. You turn the power off, it's still going to be there. Okay, so that's, the accordion style 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, all the way up to 3-4. All right. From there, you have the expansion memory. And in the expansion, you can actually put in, excuse me, you can put in 2 different kits. So I'm just going to say Alpine and orchestral. Now when you load those, it takes a long time to load those because it's loading all of that information. It's loading the extra instruments, the sounds, all of that. And that takes time to load. All right. Once you have those in, that's all fine and good. That is actually in what's called like an EEPROM. erasable programmable read-only memory. Okay, that's the acronym for it. Computer people are always talking in acronyms. RAM, ROM, EPROMs, BIOS, things like that. Okay, but that's like an erasable programmable memory because you can overwrite that. Okay, but when you turn the power off, turn it back on, it's still there. That's the only thing you can affect. All right, now, from there, you actually can load, so you can create user sets. So user sets can be, and we've done a number of those where you actually edit the sounds. So maybe you add more volume to the 16-foot reed on the bass side to give you more punch in there, or whatever it is. Okay? You can do that. You can pick different instruments. And I'm going to have a demo here where I'm actually going to do it and actually show you, not just talking about it, but show you what happens. All right? So anyway, you can do U1, U2, U3, U4. So these are user programs 1 through 4. All right. Once you have all of that in the way you want it, now you're getting ready to perform a show, or just to have it just as practice, whatever you're making your user programs up for. You have 8 slots. Great. So you go through and do that. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to, I've actually created a set. I've named it 901. And we're actually going to load 901 into user set 1. So I simply took the concerto and I went through, and I know I have the Alpine and orchestral loaded, so I went in and I picked a couple things. I picked, for example, my 1A when I'm on orchestral is going to be the harmonica. My 1B is going to be the trumpet. For the accordion, my 1A, I actually created a master. And I actually increased the volume of the 16-foot reed on that one. And my 1B is a musette. And what I am going to do, and I may shorten this up so it's not such a long video, but go in and program, user program 1A to be the harmonica, 2A to be the trumpet, 3A to be the master accordion, and 4A to be the musette, because in 1B I've put in a musette. Okay, once that is there, all I have to do is turn user programs on. I'm going to hit 1A. You know, I have my harmonica if I'm in orchestra. 3A would if I'm in user programs, I hit 1A and I have the harmonica with everything else that's been set, which that's the only thing for this demo that I'm going to do. I hit 4A, I'm going to the musette accordion. Now, these items are loaded very quickly. They're loaded very quickly because you're not actually programming the sounds, which is why when we talk about this other video, I don't want you to actually change anything in your accordion if it's already been programmed for you. Because what's going to happen, and you're actually going to see this, I'll demonstrate it, but I have the slide and the slide's coming up now, where I have a different user set. I called it 902. What I'm going to do to demonstrate what happens is I'm going to switch and put 902 in my user set U1. So I'm going to replace the 901 with the 902. And the reason that those items are loaded so quickly compared to whenever you load the expansion, they're using something called a pointer array, and they're simply pointing at a location. You know, they do save some other information. You can look in a manual. It's a number of things that they actually save that you can change. But what's important for this discussion is they use a pointer array. So if you look, okay, it's harmonica is what I wanted, but you know what? When I put in 902, it's no longer pointing. It's pointing to the same slot, but that slot is no longer the harmonica. So, for example, if you had 4 sets, okay, 4 user sets put in, and let's say you had 901, 902, 903, 904, but then you forgot what order they were in, and you put 904 in 1 instead of in 4, your pointers are all wrong. Those user programs will not be pointing where you think they're pointing. Anyway, I got a little long-winded there, but this is something that's really important for you to understand, especially if you've purchased an accordion with sound sets already loaded for you. Now that I have the camera angle switched, I think to make this easier so you can actually see what's happening, I'm going to change my bellows curve from 4 down to 3, which means you're going to be able to hear the sound right away. Actually load it so you can see. So it's 901. I have an awful lot of sets on here. Here's 901. That's the one I want. Where do I want to put it? I want to put it in U1. It has loaded it. It's already there. Now, I've already set my user programs. So if I go to user program and I go to 1A, that's a harmonica. Or what Roland thinks a harmonica is. I've also increased the volume on it so it's a little more punchy. Okay, 2A, and you know, you should be seeing what I have here. 2A should be a trumpet. And on that trumpet, I've actually lowered the octave on it because you do that in the editor. 3A should be that master accordion. Okay, and 4A is the musette. And, you know, I've simply programmed those in. So that's my user programs, and I only have 4 of them. You know, so if I get out of that and I go to U1, okay, just so you can see that that is U1. If I go to 1A, where am I at? It's a little hard seeing at an angle here. So I'm at 1A. That's at master. So it's no longer the bassoon because I've actually changed it. And 1B is at musette. Those are the only things I've changed there. And in orchestral, in 1A is that harmonica, and 1B is that trumpet. So just to show you that everything is set up just as it is in the slide, just so you've seen, you know, 1A, user program 1A is looking at the harmonica. Now, so I've purchased this from Acme Warehouse. They have, you know, put these sounds in for me. They've done the user programs for me. Okay. And now I decide, oh, you know what? I'm going to try creating a user set myself. So I create a user set and I decide, okay, I'm going to put that in user set 1. Now everything else is set. So I'm going to come in, go to user set. Now I'm going to put in 902. That's the one I've just created. Hit enter. It says, where do you want to put it? I'm going to put it in U1. I just put it in U1. It's loaded. There it is. It's done. It's done. I have just wiped out my user set 1. Whatever was programmed there is now gone. So if I don't have that, I can't get it back. Okay? But now, watch what happens when I go to user programs. Here's user program. I'm going to go to 1A. Remember, 1A was the harmonica. What I've made it in 902 was a clarinet. Okay? That's the same location. I didn't change the user program. I changed the user set. So the user program is still pointing at that memory location, at whatever was in orchestral 1A, whatever that is. It's now a clarinet. 2A is probably going to be a more stark difference because 2A, as you can see on the slide, is actually string set. It wasn't that before. It was trumpet. Now it's strings. Oh, geez. I just messed up my user programs. Okay? 3A. 3A is some kind of accordion with a 4-foot reed, a 5 1/3, and a 2 2/3 reed. Definitely not the master. And 4 is simply a 5 1/3 reed. Okay, so I have now broken my accordion. So that's why these sounds can be loaded so quickly, is they're simply pointing at a memory location. Now the only way to fix this is to put that user program back. So if I actually go in, let me get out of user programs, and I go back and I say I want to do 901, and I'm going to put 901 back in U1. Guess what? My user programs, again, not changing them. So I go into user program, go to 1A. Guess what? Harmonica. 3A is now that master. So that is why it's very dangerous. You don't want to change these, once you have it. If you've purchased it with those sounds, please don't change them. If you're going to, please contact whoever you purchased it from and let them know what you're thinking of doing, and they will tell you, I'm pretty sure, you might not want to do that. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the harmonica versus a clarinet. Well, hopefully you found that very educational, I'm hoping, and that you now understand how the memory works. And, for those of you who are into computers, that's pretty much how a pointer array works, is it actually points to some place in memory. And that's why they're actually very quick. But that's why you really don't want to change something that's already been pre-programmed for you. It's great if you're the one doing the programming and you have everything, on your computer. Otherwise, you may be looking to find that harmonica and end up finding a clarinet instead. So, anyway, this is just hopefully to help explain the warnings that I have up on the videos coming out. I have one coming out, I believe, this Sunday, the 10th, and then one the following Sunday, where I explain those sets. But I just felt this was important. So please hit the like and subscribe below and keep playing.